many of you would have used the processing toolbox to do your spatial analysis. And we can run any of those tools via Python. This allows you to run the tool on multiple inputs. You can do kind of batch processing. You can also run multiple processing tools in a chain and kind of write code to do this. The QGIS processing toolbox contains really useful algorithms that allow you to do very interesting and powerful things, and learning how to execute this via Python will give you power to use them in your Python code. So let's learn how to do this. We're going to first learn how we can take an existing tool, run it on some data, and do the same thing via Python. So first we'll take a data, we'll do some processing using the toolbox, and then we'll learn how can I do the same thing using Python, and then we'll improve upon it and see how we can chain multiple tools together. So let's open up QGIS, and we're going to, from your data package, we're going to load this file srtm.diff into your QGIS. So this is an digital elevation model. This is a raster layer where each pixel value is the elevation of the pixel. So if I inspect this, it says 477. That means that this pixel, the elevation of the pixel was 477 meters. One of the things you can do with the raster layer is you can create a hillshade visualizations. So let's say we have this digital elevation model and I want to create a hillshade from it. So I will search for some tools in my toolbox. You'll see there are tools available. There's one tool provided by the QGIS provider. So these are the tools that come with your QGIS. These are written by the QGIS developer teams, and they are kind of part of a package. You also have some third-party tools. There's a hillshade algorithm that comes from the GDAL package. If you install some plugin, they may also have some algorithms. So here I've installed this plugin called Whitebox Tools. They also have a hillshade tool. Any of those tools you can run via Python. So first, let's run this tool, which is the QGIS hill shading algorithm. And we can go here, we can configure it. So there are some parameters that will say hillshade is how does the terrain look when viewed with the sunlight at some angle and sun being at some angle, how would the terrain be rendered? And let's keep the default parameters, and I can go and click run. You'll see the algorithm went ahead and created this hillshade view. So this is the San Francisco region, and you get this nice hillshade visualizations. So I want to now do this using Python. Why would I want to do this with Python? Maybe I want to run this on a loop. I have a directory full of files and I want to create hillshade for that. Or maybe I'm doing some other data processing and I need to create hillshade as part of my processing chain. And instead of trying to write my own hill shading algorithm, I said QGIS already provides me one, I can call that. So if you want to run this using Python, QGIS already provides you with a command that allows you to do exactly what you did in the previous step. So you can go to processing, history. This contains the full history of all the processing tools you've ever run on your QGIS machine. So whenever you run a processing tool, it maintains a history of what you did. And this is very useful where you can go back in time and say, I did something last month. I don't remember how I configured this tool. You can go and find this tool here. You can double click any of the history lines and it'll just open up the tool with the parameters you had chosen. So this is really helpful for you to go and do something that you've done before. We pick the first one. This is the stuff that we just did. And you can see it shows me the Python command here. It says, this is the Python command for doing what we just did. It says processing.run, the name of the tool, and some parameters. So I can just take this and I can open my Python console, open up the editor, and paste it here. And when I run this, it's going to do exactly what I did using the tool, but now I can do this via Python. Let's try this, run this. Something happens, but nothing got loaded. The reason nothing got loaded, because when you say processing.run, it just runs the tool, it generates the output, and it doesn't load it to QGIS by default. Let's see what happens when you run this. So when you run this, it returns all the layers it generated. Let's save this into this variable called result, and I'm going to print the results. You can see now that the processing algorithm ran on my input. It generated that hillshade layer, and it returned me a dictionary saying that I have your output here. It is saved into some temporary place, and this is the TIFF file that it generated. So the output got generated, but the default processing.run doesn't load it to QGIS. If you want to load it, you can change run to run and load results. So processing.run and load results will create the processing tool, launch it, run it. Whatever output is generated, it's going to load it to your QGIS as well. So now let's run this one. And you can see I got a new layer. And this was done completely using Python. Let's understand this command a little bit more. The processing.run or processing.run and load results takes two parameters. The first one is the ID of the algorithm. So you can find the ID of the algorithm. You can go and say, I want to run some algorithm. You can hover over this and you can see it shows you the algorithm ID. This one says is native : cell statistics. Every algorithm has an ID and you need to use the ID to say, I want to run this algorithm. Second is a dictionary of parameters. So you can see I have a dictionary of parameters. I always find it useful to first run the tool using the UI. So I don't have to remember or know what are the parameter names. I can just get it here. The first one is an input. It says, this one is my input file. This is a Z factor. This is the azimuth. This is the V angle. And finally, the output. Right now, when we run the tool, we just say create a temporary layer. So my output is a temporary output. You can also give a path to a TIFF file and save the file there. So this works, and you can kind of change to a different file and it'll run the algorithm. We can also do something little different. We can say, I don't want to type the path to my layer. I want to be a little more dynamic. I will select this layer and I want QGIS to run hill shading on the currently selected layer. So I can change the code a little bit more. I can say, this will just give me the layer, which is the active layer. And I can just say, instead of this, run it on my layer. And that also works. So if I have some layer loaded in QGIS and I want to just run some algorithm on that, I can get a reference to that layer and then run this on my layer. So let's try this out. All of you can go to section 8.1 and open up your Python console. This version is looking at the path from your data package and defining the path to SRTM. So that also will work. So if you copy this code, make sure your path is correct, your data package is at correct place, or you can do the stuff that I did. First, just load the SRTM layer into QGIS. So find your data package, load the SRTM layer, select it, and then change your code to be something like this, where you can say, I'll get the active layer and then use that layer object as my input and run it and see if you're able to generate the hillshade layer using Python. When you have a processing algorithm, let's say I want to configure it, but I don't want to run it. Maybe it's a very long operation. I don't want to run it just to get my parameters. So once you configure your processing tool with the parameters you need, you can go to this advanced section at the bottom, click on it, and then it says copy as Python command. This command will copy the current configuration as the processing.run command. So instead of going to the history and looking at the Python command, I can also just come to my processing tools, configure it the way I want, then say copy as a Python command, and come here and paste it. And this will give me the same command that I did. And I can now run this. So you can have multiple ways to figure out what the parameters are for the tools that you need, and you can run that. Once you run it, you can now say, I want to make it more dynamic. You can then change the parameters, make it more dynamic, and use that. Make sure that when you want to load the result, you say run and load results. That are two different methods. Run will just run it and give you the path to the output. Run and load result will actually load it to QGIS. When I'm writing code for processing tools, I typically like to break down this long line of command into multiple lines. Just makes it much easier to read and debug your code. And why this might be useful, where you can say, I want to generate all the hillshades with different angles. I want to try all the angles from 10 degrees to 360 degrees. I want to see the difference. Let's see so output file name. We're going to name the file name hillshade and angle. And right now we'll say angle is 40. So I'm just going to do my output file name will be hillshade underscore angle underscore 40. That's what I want my layer name to be. And I've defined this file name, which will be hillshade, and angle will be replaced by this whatever value is there. And we'll give a path. So output path will be the data directory and my output file name. So now I can say my output has to be in this output path. And you can see it created this file hillshade40.tiff inside my data directory. So this is the file that it created, and it loaded that layer as hillshade40. And now you can say, I want to do, say, for angle in range 40 to 200 with 30 step. We can just do this in iteration. So I want to now run this. Yeah, now you can see I've got angle 40, 70, whatever. I think it has to be up to 90. So 40 to 90, 10. So let's do this one. So 10 to 90 at 10 interval. And we want all the hillshades with different angles between those. And you can see I've got different hillshades with different angles. And I could just write a for loop to generate this automatically. And this allows you to experiment and do things differently.